On this week's BartenderHQ.com podcast, we're talking Bacardi Legacy competitions. We're talking about the Monkey Shoulder social club that's this Thursday down in London. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the worldwide bartender community on Facebook. So join us for this week's episode after this.
Welcome to the BartenderHQ.com podcast. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at BartenderHQ. Here's your host, David Eden-Sangwell.
Now, the first thing I want to mention this week is our group on Facebook, the Worldwide Bartender Community. Now, it's a group that's open to every bartender in the world. Anyone that wants to get involved and wants to share their knowledge about bartending, wants to share any articles they find, wants to share a recipe, wants to ask a question about anything bar related, please come along, join, just pop us a request in. It'll get okayed within an hour or so unless I'm asleep, and you can join in. And the whole idea is we're creating this group on Facebook so that bartenders have got a single place that they can come and discuss anything they want about bartending. So there are a lot of groups already out there on Facebook. There are some that are focused on flair, there are some that are focused on mixology. There are a lot that are specific to an area, like there's the Bartender Club for Dubai, there's a lot of UK groups, I'm sure there are a lot outside the UK and in the US and that sort of thing as well. And this is designed for bartenders all over the place to get in touch with each other, be able to share their experiences, their knowledge, and basically share anything they've got to do with bartending that they think will help someone else, or to ask a question. If they need an answer, then this group of bartenders hopefully will be able to help out and answer the questions that people have got. So we've got quite a good little community going already. It's only been around for a couple of weeks, and we've got 104, 105 people already in the group, which is great. And there's a good amount of chat going on, and people are posting stuff, and there's a couple of flair videos in there. There's a bit about different cocktails. There's people looking for jobs in different places. So please come and join us. It is the Worldwide Bartender Community. It's on Facebook. Just search for it. It's a closed group, so you can find it, but you can't read what's in it until you remember. And I'd love you to come along, join it, and get involved and have a chat. We're all in there. We're all there to help each other. So come and join us at the Worldwide Bartender Community on Facebook. And while I'm plugging social media, we've gone way past the 500 mark on Twitter now at BartenderHQ, so come and join us there. I get involved and have a good chat with people, so if you tweet at me, we will tweet back, we will have a chat on there. It's good fun, and I've really got into Twitter. It's cool. I didn't think I'd like Twitter, but I've got really interested in it, really enjoying it. So get us on Twitter, that's at BartenderHQ. And again, if you want to tweet any recipes at me or ask any questions that you've got about bartending in general, or about what we do on the site, or request an article, anything like that, just tweet us and that would be awesome. On the subject of asking us a question, if you want to have a question featured on the podcast, I've just set up a new page over at bartenderhq.com, which is bartenderhq.com/voice message. It's all one word, no hyphens, no spaces, anything like that. And you will be presented with a page that says talk to me. There'll be a little paragraph that I've written there, and then there will be a big button at the bottom that says start recording, send a voice message to David from Bartender HQ. And all that will happen is you'll press that. You can use the microphone on your cell phone, you can use it on your laptop. It doesn't need to worry too much about the quality of the sound that you're recording. As long as I can hear you, that's absolutely fine. And basically, you get to send me a message or ask me a question without having to do the typing that you would with an email. So it's nice and easy, it's nice and quick, and you can basically ask any question you want to have featured on the podcast. If it's something more in-depth, then maybe I'll write an article for it as well, we'll see. But yeah, get over there to bartenderhq.com/voice message and ask me a question. I'd love to hear from you guys. So, On to the Bacardi Legacy competition. Now, this is one of the biggest bartending competitions that happens around the world every year. In terms of mixology, I know there's a bit of presentation involved, and it's got quite popular, especially over in India, where this has been featured on MTV, I believe, over there. And my friend Guru, who used to work at One and Only The Palm in Dubai, he has been featured on the show. So yeah, I mean, it's a really big, massive, worldwide competition for bartenders, presented by Bacardi, where they're essentially looking to create a new legacy cocktail, a cocktail that will stand on its own and pass the test of time, essentially. So they're looking for cocktails that will be around forever, along the lines of your Cuba Libras, your pina coladas, your mojitos, that kind of thing. Something that is so iconic that it stays around forever, and that it's one of these drinks that's known by everyone. Now, that being said, when I've looked at a lot of these cocktails that have been created for the Bacardi Legacy competition, they don't look like a Cuba Libre or a mojito or anything that simple. Now, for me, if you want to create a cocktail that is going to have a legacy, like Bacardi is looking for, this is, from the sounds of things, this is exactly what they're after. They're after cocktails that can be made everywhere around the world. They can be easily made to a standard. They can, they can be made by everyone. And a lot of these cocktails aren't. Now, I've featured one of these cocktails on the Bartender HQ website this week, which is Fashion Prohibition cocktail. Now, this is by Guru, who used to work with me in Dubai at the One and Only, and it sounds like it's a fantastic cocktail. I haven't made it yet, I'll be honest. I need to get in touch with Guru and ask him exactly how to make the syrup up. And the syrup is one of the things, and this is no disrespect whatsoever to Guru, but more to the way that the competition is run, I guess. If this is supposed to be a legacy drink that anyone can make, not everyone is going to be able to make these syrups. Now, Gal Nagal, as far as I can find from online, is pretty closely related to ginger. So it's essentially a ginger and basil syrup. But as much as that's cool, you're going to have to standardise the syrup, you're going to have to, and then it's topped with pomegranate soda, which you certainly can't get in the UK. You may be able to get in India. I'm not sure if it's one of the sort of more common things over there. But there's certainly some stuff in there that is rarer ingredients. And it's no disrespect to Guru at all. He's gone to create a drink for the competition. I assume he's not just picked one off of his menu and use that for the competition. But it's not using ingredients that are readily available. And if you want to create a cocktail that's going to be as iconic and as long-lived as something like a Cuba Libre, which is a rum and coke, you need ingredients that everyone has access to. And if the Bacardi Legacy contest is set up in a way that it rewards exotic ingredients, if you've listened back, I think it was around about episode 10 that I was talking to the guys from A Bar Above, they've always gone on about their unicorn tiers. You should definitely check out their podcast. It's over at Mixology Talk on iTunes. Definitely check that out. But yeah, it's one of these things where if you want a drink that can be made by everyone, you need to essentially only use off-the-shelf ingredients. You can't really be using homemade infusions. You know, as fantastic as like a vanilla-infused Bacardi would be, or, you know, these homemade syrups, they're great, and they make fantastic tasting drinks. But if you want a drink that's going to be made by everyone and be as popular as a Cuba Libre, as a rum and coke, you need to really stick to very, very basic ingredients, and the competition needs to be set up in such a way that it focuses on that, and the rules need to be set in that way. If that's going to be the overarching aim of the contest, you really need to encourage that within the drinks. And the guy that won was from France. His drink is called La Latine. So it's obviously it's a Bacardi drink. It would be quite upsetting if he'd won the Bacardi Legacy without including Bacardi. But it's La Latine by Frank Didieu. And the recipe is as follows. 45ml of Bacardi Casablanca, 20ml of white wine, 20ml of lemon juice, 6ml of olive brine, 2 bar spoons of cane sugar, caster sugar in brackets, and you should shake and strain this into a coupette glass and garnish with an olive. Now that is using fairly standard ingredients. Nobody's going to have to make their own olive brine, so I'm pleased actually that he's won with a drink that is not using outlandish ingredients. I've not tried this drink, but based on the reviews, that sounds very, very nice. We did do some cocktails while I was out in Dubai that were using white wine and basil actually together, and fresh grapes muddled. So I think the white wine is going to work very, very nicely in there. Obviously, it's going to vary quite a bit depending on which wine you use. So, yeah, I mean, this is something that I'd like to try. It hasn't got too many different ingredients in there. Nothing outlandish, nothing that's homemade. So, yeah, this works well for me, and I'm pleased that this is what's won. But having seen a lot of the presentations that go on with the Bacardi Legacy, there are some really crazy ingredients in there, and there's some stuff that I know nobody's going to make outside the bar that this thing was created in. And if you're trying to create a new classic, you need to really push on a little bit past that. So the last thing I wanted to mention today is the Monkey Shoulder Social Club that is this Thursday, the 14th of May, down in London. It's at the Hoxton Archers, which is 402 Cremer Street in London. Nearest station for that is going to be Hoxton itself. It's on the Overground service. It's not on the Tube, but it's right in the centre of London. Running from 6:30pm up until 10pm. Tickets are £15 and include 3 Monkey Shoulder cocktails. There is more information on the Bartender HQ website, so I will chuck a link in there to that. You can get the address, the full address with the postcode and everything like that if you're sat-navving it there. And it would be cool to see you guys down there. If you're there, I'm going to still do my very best to make it down. So yeah, that is this Thursday evening, which is the 14th of May, down in London. So that pretty much wraps it up for this week, guys. If you haven't followed us yet on Twitter, get over there. It is at Bartender HQ on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Bartender HQ. Nice and easy. Bartender HQ Pics on Instagram. You can subscribe through the website. You can leave us a voicemail message, as I mentioned earlier on, at Bartender HQ. Get over there, talk to me, and let's get this community going. You might have noticed in the background the TV is now up in the studio. We will hopefully have that all cabled in and everything for next week's show, and have a little bit more kind of interaction going on. I've got a couple of wicked interviews lined up in the next few weeks as well, guys, so stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed yet on iTunes, please hit that subscribe button. You can also leave us a review on iTunes. It would be really, really appreciated. 5 stars is the most you can give us. You can give us as many or as few as you want, but 5 is the most, and that would be good. So, until next week, guys, my name's Eden-Sangwell for bartenderhq.com, and I will see you next week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the bartenderhq.com podcast. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Bartender HQ.